Yo, what's up, folks over there on YouTube? How's it howling? Today, we're going to be watching and reacting to Sentry versus Superboy Prime. Marvel versus DC. This is another Marvel versus DC death battle. This is an interesting fight. I would usually think they would put Sentry up against Superman, but Superboy is in Superboy Prime, so I guess that's still pretty good as much as any. I guess it's just as good as Superman. So we're going to go ahead and check this out. If you guys would please do the three usual things. Hit that like button, that subscribe button, that hype button. If you're on mobile, it helps the channel so very much. I'm trying to get my numbers up over there to 100 by the end of the month. So yeah, thank you guys for joining me, and let's go ahead and dive on in.
Sentry versus Superboy Prime.
Yes, he is.
These two dark supermen prove that sometimes absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Oh, I like the sprite animation they're
and
using.
it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
One superhero stands alone at the peak
Let's
of
go.
Marvel
Let's
Comics.
see.
He's
I feel like
brilliant
DC's been
scientist
taking a
and
lot of
friend to all,
L's.
the Golden Guardian
It's
of
in
good,
death
the
battle
Sentry.
history, so
Which
let's
makes
see
it
who
all the more
wins this.
mysterious when all of humanity forgot about him, as though he never existed in the first place.
What
Well,
if the reason we forgot
I'm sure
Sentry
it's not
is
that
that he wanted to be forgotten?
To save us from himself.
As the story goes, Robbie
Robert
Reynolds was
Reynolds,
just your average, ordinary
6 foot,
high school teen
194
until the
pounds,
day he accidentally drank
Golden
this
Guardian
super
of
soldier
Good.
serum.
At that
Fabio,
moment,
man.
Robbie was imbued with the
First I've
power
heard
of
of
a
that
million
name.
exploding suns, becoming
Enemy
one
of
of the
the Void.
strongest superheroes in existence.
That's gotta be one hell of a bowel movement. And what better way to use his new powers than to become
I love
a
that
sentry to all
suit.
mankind?
Now,
a
granted, they
never-ending crusade
modernized
against his
it in the Thunderbolts, which it looks pretty good. It looked pretty decent still, but I guess I was hoping for too much for them to use this suit in not this one, though, the one they showed in the last panel in the movie, but it still looked pretty good.
He's got all your classic, I can't believe he's not Kryptonian superpowers.
Except for the
like
S.
super
I didn't like
strength,
how the S
speed,
looked.
durability, and flight.
He can spot you
It
from
looked kind
miles
of
away, or even
way
hear a
weird. I didn't like
butterfly
how the S looked.
sneeze from across the planet.
Do butterflies sneeze?
No!
Well, Sentry's cells absorb and process the sun's rays. And
Yep.
if he wants to, he
Energy
can fire
blast,
that solar
force
energy
fields,
right back at you in a powerful
invisibility.
laser.
Oh, wow.
Or bend light away to turn invisible. Or use it to make force fields.
Really, the Sentry can draw power from anywhere and everywhere.
Yep.
When he was forcibly shrunk down to subatomic size, he started pulling energy from the microverse instead. And despite being microscopic, his punches were strong enough to destroy planets, even while holding
Jeez.
back.
Sentry can teleport, communicate telepathically, and even read and mess with minds.
He's also a genius
Yeah, it
with
looks
a
way
super
better.
brain comparable to Tony Stark and Reed Richards. He's even built his own
Okay.
watchtower with an advanced
No, it's
AI
as smart
that is
as Reed.
constantly monitoring the planet for threats.
Jesus Christ, he's like the Avengers all in one. Why do there even need to be any other superheroes?
Indeed, the Sentry is more than strong enough to take on Marvel's
Oh, we
heaviest
know he
hitters,
could box
like
with
his
all
famous
Hulks.
battle with the Green Scar Hulk, where Black Bolt, Iron Man, and Doctor Strange failed. The Sentry was the only
Yeah,
one who stood
yeah.
against the Hulk's full power.
He's also battled Thor, who collapsed an infinite number of timelines into one by clashing with another Thor.
The Sentry is incredibly fast.
I mean, the extra
too.
lines
He
is-
can
it's
bend
not
space
terrible.
And speed blitz Ares, who can move within plank time, the smallest
But I
unit
do
of time
think they
possible
could add
in
a
our
little bit more
universe.
to
He's
oomph
stated
to
to
the
be as
designs
fast as the Heralds of
sometimes.
Galactus, like the Silver Surfer, who once outraced the multiverse blowing up. This surfer flew so fast
Crazy
he went back
feat.
in time. So you'd think Sentry would be able to handle some punk in a trench coat.
But it wasn't so simple. The Void was everywhere that the Sentry wasn't.
If
Yep.
Sentry saved people from a burning building, Void would crash an airplane. If Sentry healed a
But I do
person's
like
broken
saving
back,
each month.
Void would give someone else cancer. What an asshole!
For every good act the
Yeesh.
Sentry performs, the Void commits
Void does,
an evil one. Because the
opposite.
truth was, the Sentry and the Void were one and the same.
Bum, plot twist. Turns out Sentry's whole origin story was a lie. Robbie Reynolds wasn't a 60s high schooler beating up bullies like some Jack Kirby comic.
In reality, Bob Reynolds was a schizophrenic meth addict who drank the Sentry serum just to get high. And
Yep.
the Void was, in reality, a malevolent godlike entity bonded to Bob that was
Worst
the
man of
literal
death.
angel of
Yo.
death.
Yes, from the Bible, with Moses
Whoa.
and the Pharaoh and the dead firstborns. That's him, apparently.
And this being
What?
manifests as the dark side of Bob's shattered psyche, a villainous
Didn't know
alter ego
that.
with all of his power. Too much power for any one man to handle. The only way to destroy the Void was to also destroy the Sentry.
So Bob did something crazy. With help from Reed's tech, he used his own psychic powers to erase himself from everyone's past, present, and future,
Whoa.
including his own.
Warping the perception of reality of every single person on the planet. They would no longer remember him or even recognize anything remotely related
That's
to him.
pretty killer.
A picture of the Sentry would still technically exist, but in your mind's eye, including Bob's, it isn't there.
Great. Everyone
Wow.
knows repressing your problems always makes them better.
But Bob's memories
Oh,
eventually
definitely.
clawed their
Sure.
way back, in part thanks to Norman Osborn, the Green Goblin,
Of
and his
course.
desire to somehow control the Void. So Norman had the Thunderbolts murder Bob's wife Lindy in order to release,
Jesus.
the Angel of Death.
Yeah, try controlling the kind of guy who can throw hands with Molecule Man, who somehow is one of the
Oh, not
strongest
Molecule
beings
Man.
in all of Marvel. At his peak, he's got almost complete control over the multiverse. So yeah, good luck with
Yo.
that one, Norm.
Molecule Man was another mentally unstable god whose power fluctuates based on their self-confidence. In a way, a sort of kindred spirit to Bob.
It was then that Bob discovered the true source of his own powers, his own control over molecules. Yeah, you can do that too.
Yo,
The Sentry
okay,
can create
because
and
why
destroy
not?
matter on a whim, able to rip you apart
I
at the
didn't know
molecular
that.
level, or conjure an entire new reality from scratch,
that's
all with just a
broken.
wave of his hand, like Dr. Manhattan.
He can
Like
also
Dr.
regenerate his
Manhattan.
body from any kind
That's
of damage,
broken.
like being burnt to a
Like-
skeleton or getting Dr. Manhattan himself.
That's broken. Jesus Christ. He's on par with Dr. Manhattan. Whoa. Yeah, pretty much.
As long as one single solitary atom remains, the Sentry is unkillable.
And Void's got all of this and more, except he doesn't hold back. He can shapeshift, create hurricanes, trap you in darkness, possess your body, and devour your soul.
With his
Okay,
infinitendrils,
looking a
the
little,
Void takes control of a victim's mind and tortures them with the memories of past traumas
Battle's
and
looking a little
nightmares.
uphill
He
for
killed
Superboy.
Loki. He wrecked Asgard. The Avengers, the Fantastic Four, the
Oh, of
Inhumans,
course.
and the X-Men teaming up all at once could barely handle him. Void is one of the biggest bads in Marvel. Great
Mm-hmm.
fucking job, Norm. I'm something of a moron myself.
The only way forward, the only way for Bob to save everyone, including
Million
himself, was to
supernovas
do something he never
thorn
imagined.
hole.
Let the Void in.
By refusing to repress his darker half anymore, Sentry and Void merged and became stronger
They
than
kinda
the sum of their
superbooed it.
parts.
One being
kind
now
of
free to
evil
finally
boo and
live his
normal
life
boo.
without the crushing weight of
And
self-hatred
became
and
Super
fear.
Boo.
Maybe,
Kinda.
but this is the Void we're talking about. What if Bob just has a new puppet master who's only letting him think he's in control?
As long as the Void exists, it's just another revolution in that same endless cycle. It remains to be
Sentry
seen whether
is
even death
broken.
itself can break that wheel.
He'll be back. Sentry is gone, but not forgotten. He'll never be forgotten again.
Oh, it's such a sick character,
Do
man.
you believe a man can fly?
Yeah, Wiz, within the pages of DC Comics, everyone and their irradiated six-dimensional gorilla mother can do it.
Well, what about in the real world? Not Earth 1 or Earth 2, but our own Earth.
Oh,
Earth
what?
Prime.
The Earth of
Oh.
you, me, and Clark Kent.
Hello,
A totally
Clark Kent.
normal boy
Oh, so
from New
this-
England who just happened to share a name with that
Oh, he's a different Cal. He's a different Clark from a different. Oh. Interesting.
comic book character.
It's
Mere
prime time.
coincidence. That
That's
is,
his
until the day
catchphrase.
Clark took a leap of faith and believed he could fly.
And he did. Surprise, surprise, Clark was actually from the planet Krypton,
Mm-hmm.
which apparently exists in our universe now? Anyway, the real Superman, the one from all those comics he loved, showed up just in time to give him the skinny on being Superboy. Wait, he could have chosen me! I believe I can
Bugsy,
fly!
don't jump off the...
That's pretty dope.
Clark had all your classic Kryptonian powers: flight, heat vision, microscopic and telescopic sight, Arctic breath. It was the dream that every little boy had finally come true.
Oh, ow. Just in time for his universe, our universe, to
Oh,
be annihilated
damn.
literally 1 month later in DC Comics Armageddon. The Crisis on
Damn,
Infinite
Crisis
Earths.
on
Wiz,
Infinite.
we're canonically dead since 1986, apparently.
With everyone he knew and loved gone, Clark took shelter in a pocket dimension with other
canonically
cosmic
dead.
refugees. Now an anachronism in DC's new, rebooted, post-crisis continuity, Clark was
cool.
forced to watch as the comics landscape changed before his eyes. As stories became darker and morally complex, as heroes failed to be the paragons of good he saw them as in his
Kagi
childhood.
films. I
As
haven't heard that
someone
name in a
else
while.
got to be Superboy.
Some people can't stand change, can't stand to see a world that doesn't look the way it did when they were a child. The day needed to be saved by Superboy, the real Superboy, Superboy Prime.
So he did what any Superboy would do. Punch really hard. He punched his way out of the dimension so hard, the shockwaves rippled through the universe and retconned DC Comics. Superboy was
punching
back,
the
and he was gonna
universe
fix
open,
comic books forever.
retcon
Hell yeah!
No
other
matter how many
universes,
fake
that
heroes
is
got in his
broken.
way.
Oh shit! Super Chud Prime
Whoa.
isn't just your ordinary Kryptonian. Oh no, he's pre-crisis.
As in, from before the Crisis on Infinite Earths, a time when comics were a bit more comical.
When Superman could sneeze solar systems apart or tow a galaxy of planets behind him like it was nothing.
Or Flash with
Which I still think he can still do. There's got to be one or maybe 10 Supermans that can still do all that.
another Kryptonian so hard, they generated enough power to restore an infinite number of timelines.
Get ready to
Yo.
hear that word a lot. My favorite is the time
I'm
Superman
ready.
flew so fast he broke the light barrier, the time barrier, and even the bonds of infinity.
Infinity.
I wonder if
Yep.
these writers ever imagined this bullshit would feed nerd arguments for the next half century. Not that I'm complaining. That's how I get paid.
Exactly.
Would know.
Exactly.
He
It's how
is
you
a
get paid. Are you
self-described
complaining?
power scaler's dream.
Huh.
Mhm.
You think he's heard about us?
We can only hope not. As a Kryptonian with an ultra-dense molecular structure, he should also share many of the same resistances, like being transmuted to
Punching
stone,
beams.
having his atomic bonds weakened, or getting his energy drained. Kryptonians like Superman can withstand more esoteric attacks too. They can actively resist mental attacks by
Yeah.
outthinking them. And
I
their
was so
souls can
surprised
resist
when I
being
found out
destroyed.
these extra powers of his. I think I found these out like 10 years ago. And I was watching I actually found it out through Death Battle. Death Battle and some of the animated DC movies. You think DC's Lucifer? Possibly. I gotta read up on him. I gotta read up on him. I don't know. I can't say that concretely, but maybe, perhaps.
All thanks to Earth's good old yellow sun fueling his cells.
Yep.
And unlike that post-crisis super frog
Damn.
who gets weaker without sunlight, Prime's got it covered.
With a suit of armor made from the corpse of the Anti-Monitor, which constantly feeds him solar energy.
The corpse of
literally
the
wearing the pelt of the
Anti-Monitor? How did you even do that? You know what?
monster who destroyed his universe.
Okay.
Just to be better and stronger than Superman.
Because that's what he thinks he is. Superman with better feats in scaling. Superman, but real.
Superman, if he was a fucking idiot. Okay, sure, he has the same hyper-efficient brain that all Kryptonians have, but when it came to
But
being a superhero, he was
don't
a
know how to-
violent, immature
Yep.
moron.
Exactly what you'd expect from a kid who never grew up and never learned to hold back. Instead of saving Earth's heroes, he started massacring them. And let's be real, there's a part of him that
Jeez.
knows that editorial will just bring them all back eventually.
He's battled the
Oh
Doom
my
Patrol,
God.
Justice Society, Teen Titans, and 3 Flashes at
Oh, yeah,
once.
they'll bring
he
you back
effortlessly
later.
murdered an alternate universe Justice League, and even killed his rival, Connor Kent, the new Superboy. Even as other Kryptonians grew
Really?
in power to become comparable to their pre-crisis iterations, Prime still held an advantage because he never held back.
Like the time he tore apart the Monarch's armor, accidentally unleashing the Big Bang in his face, destroying the universe,
In his,
and he was
he
fine.
took it
Or
to the
time
face.
a Guardian of the Universe blew himself up in an attempt to stop Prime, blasting him into the multiverse atom by atom, and that only made Prime stronger.
Or the time he
Wow.
fought a potential future version of himself who became a god of time. And instead of teaming up,
Yo.
Prime stupidly attacked him and accidentally retconned themselves both out of existence.
Which sent him home, back to his original universe.
course.
Our universe. Except now everyone he knew, his parents, his
Don't know
girlfriend
him.
Lori, had been reading his comics. They knew what
Wow.
he had become, and they were terrified.
Once again, forced to watch as his
This
heroes
is
progressed
insane.
without him, he pored over comic after comic, learning everything about DC,
And a little bit of Marvel.
only to discover
course,
his
of
worst
course, 'cause
possible
why not?
nightmare.
Not only would he never get to be Superman, he wasn't even a super villain that people liked. Turns out, power levels aren't everything.
So, naturally, he flew to DC headquarters
Yeah,
and attacked the people writing his own comic.
Like some infinitely recursive meta hell.
Prime had become a whiny, petulant, reactionary fanboy. Wiz, you think he's the guy posting on our Reddit?
And at the peak of his violent temper tantrum,
Could
he
be. You
murdered
better watch
the
out.
Golden Age Superman, the original Superman.
Whoa.
Action Comics #1.
Number
the
one from
first
1938.
Instead of restoring DC's glorious past, Prime beat it to death. He needed to
Jesus.
change.
And that opportunity came when this alternate universe Jokerized Batman Who Laughs threatened to destroy
Oh,
all
a Batman
of
who
reality.
laughed.
Prime was drafted to help save the day,
Here's another
and it turned out he was
multiversal
the only Superboy
reality,
who could.
Remember that time Prime
OP
punched reality
character.
so hard he retconned DC Comics?
Mm-hmm.
Turns out that was no coincidence. Due to his repeated excursions across the multiverse, Prime became a space-time anomaly, and he slowly learned how to manipulate reality itself with his fists.
I guess you
Jesus
could call it
Christ,
his
guys,
retcon
OP.
punch.
At first, its effects were random, like bringing Jason Todd back to life or restoring
Of
Beast
course.
Boy's memories. But he started to use it to rewrite continuity to fix the evil universes of the Batman Who Laughs.
Giving them and
Wow.
all the characters inside of them happy endings. In a weird way, that's what
And then he
Superman has
got
always done,
redemption.
right? Punch the bad guys so hard he saves the day.
Prime can punch hard enough to enter the time stream, seemingly exit the comic medium
Oh, he's from
entirely,
Earth too.
and even
Yeah.
defeat the nigh omnipotent Darkest Knight.
Who was powerful enough to beat Perpetua, the goddess who created all of DC Comics, the whole
Wow.
shebang. And Prime hit the Darkest Knight so hard, he erased his entire evil multiverse.
A feat that no
Yo.
one actually saw happen. Prime's first true act of heroism was one that he did selflessly, and it was the first step
Nice.
toward becoming a true
A
hero.
true
The
hero.
kind of hero that Superman always secretly
Not
knew
that
he could
guy
be.
anymore.
A hero who could someday get his own issue #1. A hero like, well, Superman.
Maybe one day Prime will truly believe
I
in
like his
himself,
suit.
just like he once believed he could fly.
Okay, yeah,
All right,
he
the
looking
battle's
OP.
about to begin, but first, Hitch calls are back.
I don't
Hey,
know
I'm
if
Ben,
I don't
the
know
voice
if
of Wiz.
Sentry's gonna
And
win
I'm
this.
Jed, the
I'm gonna
voice of
skip ahead.
Boomstick.
And we're
'cause
reopening
it's time to
matchup
get
pitches
my
on the Death
eyes.
Battle store.
This is a way to meet with Chad and I.
All right, let's get to this battle.
While you're behind.
Through all possibilities.
It's time
All
for
right.
a death battle!
I'm switching to Superboy Prime. He's too OP. He fought comic writers.
This
I
city
don't
won't
see
last much
Sentry
longer.
surviving that.
Quit while you're behind, kid.
Mess up a superhero crossover? No way, Doc.
You
Onomatopoeia coming right.
can call me Wes. Wes is fine. Wes. We got the old school comic sound effects.
You're dealing
Okay.
with someone who has the power
Nice
of
cross
a
breath.
million exploding suns.
Big mistake, dipwad.
I can use
Prime
absorb.
time.
It's what?
Do what?
Are you kidding me?
Is that
Another
Thomas?
Dark Superman plot? Boring.
What'd you do to Thomas? Thomas the tank engine. You leave Thomas out of this. All right, they're having a good fight.
Please, stop hitting me.
He'll kill you.
Oh yeah, the
I'll
void.
kill you to death.
But I think he can still take the void.
Bye, Bob. It's time to play God.
Even this is still gonna be, yo.
Okay, you weren't
Popped out of
joking.
infinity.
Definitely a crisis level threat. Luckily, so am I.
Run all you want.
Yo, did he just take over
Bob couldn't
infinity?
escape me.
What hope do
He
you
just corrupted infinity.
Afraid of the Dark Clark? What kind of a hero are you? Remind me again. Whatever happened to Lori?
Uh-oh. Don't press that button.
It's
I'd
over,
be
Clark.
surprised.
There is no happy ending. Not for you. Not for me. Not for anyone else. In the void.
Haven't you ever read a comic book, you big freaking nerd? There's always a happy ending.
Yeah. Rewriting powers. Nah, you do not just punch that brother into a rewrite. We got to get our answer.
Bob,
You did.
you kept talking about the Sentry.
He punched him so hard he rewrote
true?
his existence.
No idea, Lindy. Best sleep I've had in years.
He punched him so hard he rewrote his existence.
A bird.
Okay, hands up. Hands up, you got it. You got it, Clark.
I've never seen someone beaten to death
Yeesh.
so wholesomely before.
Let's break this down into 3 chapters. Their strength, intelligence, and power.
Nah, when I
As with
saw
any
that he
flying
could
brick
fight the
first question
writers,
you gotta answer is, who's
it's
stronger?
GG's.
Prime and Sentry
What
are
are we sitting
naturally
here
2 of the heaviest
debating?
hitters in DC and Marvel, more than capable of matching and surpassing Herald-level opponents like Superman and Thor.
Who
Yes.
are both strong enough to create and destroy an infinite number of timelines with their clashes. Just absolute wacky bullshit like that.
So in order to pick a winner, we have to take a close look at the strongest beings they fought, Molecule Man and the Darkest Knight.
Sentry beat the crap out of Molecule Man. But remember, Eminem's power can fluctuate a lot, and when he fought
Wait, wouldn't
Sentry,
his
he wasn't at his full
strongest
power.
adversaries be
So
the
we can only
writers?
scale
Oh,
this
no,
so
God.
far.
But Prime overpowered the Darkest Knight after the Mad Bat had absorbed the powers of both Perpetua and, what do you know, Dr. Manhattan.
Manhattan
both
too?
of which alone could
Jesus.
threaten all of DC Comics.
And unlike with Molecule Man, there's nothing to suggest the Darkest Knight was holding back. In a straight brawl, Prime takes the edge in strength. But muscles aren't everything.
Can we just admit that this is bonkers, insane, crazy? Yeah, no one refuting that? Okay, just making sure.
Maybe Sentry could figure out a way around Prime's brawn with his intelligence.
While Prime does possess a super advanced Kryptonian brain, he clearly does not use it to its full
Yeah,
extent.
It's
no.
less that he's dumb and more that he's a teenager and has a habit of crashing out.
The Sentry, on the other
So
hand,
cocky.
has been compared to Tony Stark and Reed Richards.
Yeah,
some
he
of
was
the
on
most
par with
intelligent
Reed
people
Richards.
in all of Marvel Comics.
Sure, he mentally struggles with the whole void thing, which sucks for
Oh,
him,
thank
but
you,
losing
man, thank
control
you.
to the void only
I
makes
try.
him more dangerous.
And as the Merge Sentry, he's operating at his peak, fully in
That
control of
form
his
is so
powers.
sick.
In a test of wits and wills, the Sentry was the more intelligent.
But the main question in this matchup had to do with their batshit insane
Insane
powers.
powers.
With the Sentry's ability to reshape molecular matter and warp perception of reality to such an incredible
Perception,
degree, his powers
not reality
seem much more
itself.
versatile than Prime's. Prime may be stronger, but heat vision, frost breath, and Kryptonian punches aren't going to do much in the long run against someone who
Sentry,
can regenerate from
yeah.
a single atom.
But
Yeah.
pre-crisis Kryptonians have actually resisted having their molecules torn apart before, And Prime should be no
Okay.
different. So it's not like Sentry was ever going
Thank
to just
you, buddy.
Doc Manhattan
Thanks for
him
joining
away.
me tonight.
Prime could still be worn down. Kryptonians have incredible stamina, but we know that sustained damage will
Thank you for
eventually knock
swinging
them out
by
or kill
and
them.
chilling with
Unless
me.
Prime could find a way around Sentry's insane regeneration, he was toast.
Luckily for Prime, his ability to retcon away your history and mess with your whole timeline was
Retcon
actually something
and
Sentry had no
punch you into
specific
a new
resistance to.
existence.
Not only that, it was something he's been affected by in the past.
Like the time the Scarlet Witch rewrote all of reality
Oh,
during
yeah.
House of M.
House
Bob's
of M.
continuity was rewritten like everyone else's.
Or the time Absorbing Man had the powers of a cosmic cube and warped Sentry's personal reality. Shit, Moonstone literally describes it as a reality punch.
Now, Sentry's
I remember
psionic power
Moonstone.
could theoretically retcon himself from
One of
Prime's
the
perception
Marvel
of reality.
characters that don't
However,
get enough
this feat
shine.
required assistance from Reed Richards, and it's unlikely he could pull it off mid-fight.
Pre-crisis Kryptonians also resist a lot of mind manipulation anyway,
Yep,
so good luck
yep.
trying.
Now, Prime hasn't always had the most perfect control over his retcon punch, so he might need more than one blow to
Retcon
finish
punch.
the job.
But Prime was more than capable of powering through Void's scariest abilities.
Like having his soul eaten or being cut off from sunlight. I guess that Edgelord solar armor came in handy after all.
In short, Prime could resist everything Sentry could throw at him, but Sentry couldn't do the same. Prime takes the final edge in powers.
With no way to easily put
Hey,
him down,
you got
Prime
it.
would eventually muscle his way through and retcon the Void away for good.
Sorry, Bob.
You got
Defeat
it.
was unavoidable.
The winner is
Unavoidable.
SuperBoy Pro.
You could be shot in your leg for that.
Oh, hey, my pizza's here.
The winner is Superboy Prime. Letter to the editors. Oh yeah, I win. That's right.
You got it.
You
You
hack
got it,
frauds
man.
really tried to lowball me, but I checked the clock and it's
Did he just
prime
punch
time,
into the
baby.
ending of the-
Now,
of the
personally,
episode?
that intelligence section was such a gimme. I don't crash out. I'm a tragic hero grappling with real, intense
Okay, buddy,
emotion.
sure.
I can be smart anytime I want.
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
But anyway,
whoa.
don't subscribe, don't join as a member,
Whoa, whoa,
don't
whoa.
watch Death Battle, read my comics. Prime out.
You got
Next
it.
time
I'm
on
about to
Death
go
Battle.
and read them right now. Avatar? Aang versus... Is that Aether? From Genshin? Aang versus the Travel... Ooh. 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 Okay. Okay. Yeah, they both do use multiple elements. They're known to be elemental users, spiritual. But Aether isn't. He's not. I mean, we're close to. I think we're close to the end of Genshin. I think we just got into Snezhnaya. But he's not fleshed out enough yet. I think still. Oh, okay. All right. I'm on board. I'll check it out. All right, guys. That was a great Death Battle episode by Death Battle. I did not think that Superboy Prime was that broken. News to me. Pleasant surprise. That boy is his feats are insane. But yeah, he won. That kudos. This next Death Battle is looking pretty good. Aang versus the Traveler. A little iffy since Genshin isn't really done. I don't know how the scaling is gonna go for that, but we're gonna see. If you guys like this video, go ahead and give it a like, subscribe, hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the hype button. I'll leave a link for this original video in the description down below, and I shall holler at y'all on the next one.